Hi, I'm Kai Pritchard, and this is my persuasive speech on recycling. My audience will recycle after they're done hearing my speech. Have you ever thought about what the world will be like in the next 45 years or so? While most of us go through everyday life not thinking about how throwing away recyclable goods can negatively affect our environment, the outcomes can and eventually will be devastating to the world we live in today. All my life, my family has always made sure to recycle whenever possible. Growing up, we learned in school all the negative effects that not recycling can actually have on the world we live in. Many movies and documentaries, like Al Gore's An Inconvenient Truth, open the eyes to Americans about how negative the effects of global warming and not recycling really are. Anyone who uses materials that can be recycled should, which is most of the world. The benefits of recycling are exponential and should be at the forefront of American ways of life. Recycling helps prevent pollution, helps create new jobs, and can help protect our future generations. While recycling may seem very easy, not many Americans actually participate. What people don't understand is that recycling really can help with pollution. Recycling can prevent pollution and also help to control what has already been polluted. According to Sil Anza, there are two types of pollution that can be prevented. The first type is water pollution. Recyclable materials like plastic are being put into landfills and are toxic infused plastics that seep into the groundwater that we will eventually or are already drinking. According to the NRDC, approximately 80% of litter that is in the ocean originates on land. These plastic bottles and other forms of recycling make their way into the ocean and only have negative consequences. Circular pieces of plastic are being found on many sea animals' necks and other parts of their body. These pieces of plastic have led to the death of many of these sea animals. The second type of pollution is air. When recyclables are thrown into landfills, they are sometimes burned. When this happens, a very potent greenhouse gas called methane is released into the air. This toxin can be very detrimental to one's health if enough of the gas is inhaled. The main problem that is arising is the fact that mass amounts of these toxins are being released into the air and are getting trapped in our ionosphere, or what people better know as the ozone layer. Recycling can also help stimulate the economy. Recycling can help to create many new jobs if the right steps are taken in the coming years. According to Darby Hoover, who is part of the NRDC, if Americans move from the current 34% of recycling rate to 75% by the year 2030, we will have approximately 1.5 million new jobs. Another beneficial contribution factor of recycling, as far as jobs go, is protection for landfill workers. When working hand in hand with these materials, toxins are being released. If the proper equipment is not being worn and used, health consequences can be detrimental. These health problems could include things like premature death in children, asthma-related problems, cardiovascular, and respiratory diseases. Creating these new jobs will have a direct positive impact on the economy as well. Creating these jobs will help to stimulate the economy by increasing revenues and creating new jobs. The overall image of Americans can be benefited from recycling as well. We can help to make it so that we create an outcome that we are all proud of as Americans. Lastly, we must always remember to keep the future in mind. Recycling will also help future generations to come. The world we are living in now is starting to become very polluted. The thing everyone must keep in mind at all times is that while recycling might not have direct impacts right away, it has serious implications for the future. If we continue to only have 34% of people recycle, our days on Earth might not last as long as we expected. As I have stated, the negative health consequences will become more apparent amongst our generations to come as well. As our populations get bigger, more room will be needed for living. Landfills take up vast amounts of space that are starting to accumulate over time. Recycling will allow there to be more room for our children and future generations to live when the time does come. We must work towards this because one person cannot change everything. we must remember that recycling can help prevent pollution, help create new jobs, and help future generations. Anyone who uses materials that can be recycled should, which is most of the world. Knowing you made a difference while on Earth can and will be very rewarding feeling to those who choose to recycle. The government itself can only do so much to try and get people to recycle. More information is coming out about the positive effects of recycling. The scary part of this is the fact that most Americans are not taking positive steps forward to help increase the amount of recycling. The very trees we get our air supply from are even being wiped out. These are facts that are there and need to be stopped and prevented. The ability to recycle relies on you as the individual. Next time you go to throw out a recyclable, think about all the negative effects on the world I've mentioned. Also keep in mind that we as community members of Earth must make sure to come together and help each other. Without a group effort, this problem will never stop. Our population is only growing and we only have so much time. Remember to recycle because it will make our home we call Earth a better place. And also remember that recycling can and eventually will help your kids and their kids and generations to come. Thank you very much, and that was my persuasive speech.